Hey everyone, before the reaction begins, I just wanted to mention that this video is compiled of clips and edited footage that we did for a live stream the other week. That live stream consisted of us actually reacting to Crooked Rain in its entirety, and somehow it's still up on YouTube, so if you want to watch the VOD, it's there. But I felt like editing a little reaction video out of it, just to make it more accessible for people to watch. We tried to do this with the Mr. Bungle album California a few weeks back, but unfortunately I was not able to get the footage and the VOD is blocked, so there's no way that we'll be able to put that up. But for future reference, these are all from our live streams, so if you want to see us react to albums live, then of course subscribe to the channel. Join the Discord if you want to submit songs for the Submit Song streams as well. And without wasting any more of your time, here's our reaction to Crooked Rain by Pavement. So yeah, today we're going to be doing another reaction to a classic album. And this time, we're going to be reacting to the album Crooked Rain by Pavement, the indie rock band from the 90s. And I don't know too much about Pavement outside of that. I've known who Pavement were for a good couple of years now, but I've never actually listened to their music, and I've really wanted to start. I was very anxious to listen to Slanted and Enchanted the other day before we did this, but I guess we'll just save that for more content. But for now, we're going to be talking about Crooked Rain, which is often considered the best one, but it's out of the first two usually, which are considered like the best Pavement albums. So this one is supposedly the big one, and I'm excited to listen to this one.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is my first proper reaction to Pavement. The only material I've heard from them is that one track that it's a B-side. I forget what it's called, but it
is that
went
the one
super
that's like
viral.
Got famous
yeah,
oh, the one that got famous from TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it is a B-side, and I have heard that song, and I do love that song.
Yeah, I think we'll just get started.
Yep. Ooh.
Oh!
Oh, that sounds gorgeous.
I like the dorky quality of the vocals.
The vocals, I think, are really gonna do it for me. I like the lyrics too. Very, like, just straight to the point.
Yeah. Oh. I think Weezer owes a lot to Pavement.
Proto Weezer. God. Well, first impressions, that sounds like it was made in a lab to appeal to me. Specifically. So I think I'm in for a good time.
Yeah. No, that song is beautiful. I really liked that. That was really good. Like the noisiness and kind of like the roughness of it kind of juxtaposes really nicely with like with the vocals, which are honestly really beautiful on this song. Really, like it feels distinct to Pavement, I suppose, but like, damn, this was actually just really nice. This was a great opener.
Yeah. Instrumentally, I think there's a very nostalgic haze to everything. Vocals, I mean, are really doing it for me. I love how they're just so unique. I mean, it doesn't sound like, the only thing I can think that sounds like this is the other Pavement track I know vocally. The lyrics as well, I'm gonna try and keep an eye out, because, you know, from what I know, very just to the point, very kind of abstract, but yeah, definitely very interesting. All in all, fantastic opener.
Alright, Elevate Me Later is the next track, and yeah, do you want to get into it?
Go, man. The lyrics, I mean, I'm grasping everything that's been said, but the meanings kind of are flying over my head.
I guess we'll have to pay attention.
The guitar work,
Are they kind of digging into celebrity culture then? That's kind of what I'm picking up. Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, Elevate Me Later. I thought that was another really good track. That was really good. It was very sweet. It still had that kind of nostalgic quality to it. The guitar work was just much more like sweet, I would say, in that sense. And you know, vocals are good. I'm trying to piece together like what's being said lyrically, but I suppose the music is good enough to suffice me for now. I'm gonna have to listen to this again another time, but Elevate Me Later, another solid track. I still definitely prefer Silence Kid though.
Yeah, I'd agree. It does kind of still have that, as I said, nostalgic haze to the guitar work. The guitar work definitely still stand out to me so far. Lyrically, I don't know if this is the format to really dive deeply into lyrics.
Yeah.
Stop breathing, breathing for me now.
The lyrics have this kind of poetic quality to them.
They said the song is about tennis.
Tennis. Is this literally what the song is about? What the fuck? Poetry about tennis. I like it.
Tennis or war? I mean, really, what is the difference between tennis and war at the end of the day?
It is a battle between two sides.
Very poetic.
Well, this ending is a bit eerie. Oh.
Whoa. Yeah, that one started kind of slow for me, admittedly. But then, I mean, around the, was it like the 3-minute mark, it really, I think, was the direction that I would have wanted the track to go in.
Yeah.
Just adding subtle details and kind of a very kind of subtle build-up, I think worked well with the overall direction of the track. Yeah, I mean, I would probably be my least favorite of the 3 so far, but I definitely still dug it. And
yeah, I agree.
Especially the latter half.
Yeah, I agree. I still think it's a really solid track, though. I think the ending definitely reeled me back in, the way that kind of built up into this like kind of eerie kind of thing, and then with the more I don't know what the way to describe when all the instruments came in, but it's I think that was definitely an interesting way that they kind of brought it all back together and tied it off. I will agree it did kind of start off a bit slow for me, but and I will agree that it's probably my least favorite track on the album so far, but I still think it's solid. Cut Your Hair, 29 million streams, and let's hope we like this as much as Tony does. Ooh,
God, so 90s.
definitely.
I saw another one just the other day, a special new band. I don't remember lying, I don't remember
It was Weezer.
I don't remember a word, but
It's just so 90s, like nerdy alt rock. It's so nice.
Oh,
It's so far like it's probably the most catchy song on the album. Like it's definitely easy. It's probably the most accessible one too. But like that was still very good. That's probably my second favorite track so far.
probably
I
my
really
favorite
like
so
that
far.
one. Nice.
It's
I
kind of
still
on
like.
par with Silence Kid, but
I prefer Silence Kid a little, but Cut Your Hair was still really good. I still really like that. It was. it's so nerdy alternative rock from the 90s. Well, it's so good. Like the way that I love the little like vocals on it, like the little group vocals on it.
yeah.
And it's just it's just sweet. The guitar work is really good. The lyrics, I really dug the lyrics. I thought they were really cool. I'd have to read into them more, but I think I'm kind of getting what they're saying. But it's really good.
Yeah, no, I'm there with you. It definitely feels like the most catchy track of the bunch. I do like the little, embellishments and just the solo in between, the noisy
Yeah,
guitar
the solo as well.
I love myself a noisy guitar solo. Yeah, I mean, everything about that track was just very sweet, as you said, very fun, bubbly. Lyrically, it probably wasn't that fun. I don't really, I don't know what it was quite about, but the lyrics do kind of give me a maybe like a Nirvana vibe or something, where they definitely stand out, but I just can't really piece the puzzles together, but they're definitely, standing out.
Okay, next up we're gonna move on to track 5, Newark Wilder.
because I rush to feel you, but I
This
won't
guitar work is
touch you
great, damn.
down. I need to
Kind of like the psychedelic tone of it.
fly, 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 fly. Wanna
so meticulous, that's so subtle.
Oh. It really is quite playful with the direction it goes with. Like,
Sorry?
it really is quite playful with the direction it goes in.
Yeah.
I feel like it just does kind of what it wants to.
I'm really vibing with the subtle psychedelia as well.
That's up there in terms of my favorite tracks, I think.
Thus far, it's my second favorite.
I will say I still prefer Cut Your Hair, but it was, at its core, it sounded quite simple, but
Yeah.
well, not simple, just kind of stripped back, but there was
Yeah.
a lot of intricacies to that, and the direction that it was going in always kind of caught me off guard. Even though I was almost expecting to be caught off guard, it still managed to do something new and something interesting. Yeah, I mean, this album's fantastic so far.
Yeah, this album is really great so far. And Newark Wilder, it's probably my second favorite track so far, honestly. Like, it feels, yeah, like you said, it feels kind of stripped back in a sense, but it also just feels very playful and meticulous in terms of like instrumentation. Plus, like, it's the most subtle track so far, but it kind of stands out to me in a sense. Like, I love the way that the instrumentation is playful. I love the psychedelic flourishes on the guitar work. It's a very subtle track. It's a very like slow paced track, but it just does a lot to keep me entertained with how just playful and meticulous the instrumentation is. The drumming, especially on that track, it was very noticeable yet so subtle, and I really loved that aspect of it. The guitar work, especially, was great on that track. So, yeah, that track is honestly one of my favorites so far.
Yeah, I think playful's the best way for me to describe the instrumentations for sure.
We're gonna cap up the first half of the album with the 6th track, Unfair.
We got deserts, we got trees, we got the hills of Beverly.
Oh,
It seems kind of, to me, lyrically like a satire on all those many rock songs about LA.
honestly, yeah, when I think about that.
Beverly Hills and whatnot.
Look how this is the most bombastic song of the
Yeah,
track is so
definitely.
far. Vocals are great on this.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's like he has such control over like the imperfections in his voice. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it feels perfect.
Oh God.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's my new favorite.
I don't know if I prefer it over Newark Wilder though. I need to think. That was great. That was a fucking great track. God damn. Like, it's definitely the most bombastic and like, I suppose, rocking track in the track list, but it just feels, it has that charm to it, that kind of like rough, kind of nerdy charm to it that I really like. And lyrically, I agree with what you said there. It's like, it seems like kind of a satire about those songs that are about LA, you know, like glorifying it. It feels like they're just taking the piss out of that kind of like song, I suppose. But it's great. I think that the way that it's just the way the instrumentation goes, and at the end when like all those like awkward like untuned guitars like come in there, I thought that was a great addition. It kind of adds to it. Yeah. Anyway, do you have anything else to add to that?
No, I'm excited for the next track. I mean, the streams, I see 21 million, and with what Connor just said, I don't know what we're in for.
Track 7, Gold Sounds.
Now I keep my address to yourself.
Oh my.
Oh, the guitar is just so beautiful.
Yeah. Well, this is beautiful so
Yeah.
far. Best track in the album so far.
Yep, easily.
That track was beautiful. Just, I could definitely see why it's one of the more popular tracks in the album easily. Like, it's just a beautiful song. Like, it's, the guitar work is also just very playful. There's a part where like the bass and the guitars were kind of playing with each other. That was just a beautiful moment as well. But it's just such a sweet track. Like, this whole album has been sweet so far, and like that was probably the sweetest moment on the album for sure.
Yeah, no,
That was
just everything you said, and also the lyrics are really, sticking with me. I like, I'm getting this urge to like re-listen to this album and just look at Genius and try to figure out what is happening. Because it's
Same here.
so,
Honestly,
every line, it just feels so significant and so memorable, and I just cannot seem to put the pieces together. And the track I do know, Harness Your Hopes, lyrically, again, very abstract and just bizarre. And that's one of the standout things about that track for me. And I kind of see this theme throughout, you know, this album as well, where the lyrics, I mean, they're just so memorable, yet so, like, kind of shrouded in mystique. I don't know, like, which parts are being just blunt and just sincere, which parts are just a sarcasm, which parts are a metaphor for something it's completely flying over my head. But every single line is just memorable as fuck.
5 minus 4 equals unity. Whoa, okay. This is certainly different so far.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Just give me like kind of jazz undertones.
Yeah.
Not even undertones, just blatantly jazz. What am I on about?
Sounds like Jazz meets Primus or something. A bit of
That
an
was...
interlude-ish track. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, it feels a lot like an interlude, but it's interesting. It's an interesting moment on the album. It's the most different sounding thing. It has kind of like a jazzy undertone. It has a bit of additional instrumentation there as well. I thought the way that weird kind of guitar sound they brought in just kind of culminated with the instrumentation well. It definitely feels like an interlude in a sense, but honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I thought that was pretty cool.
An interesting little change of pace, and it's sandwiched between two very popular tracks, as far as I'm concerned. Next track, 26 million listens. So,
After the glow, the scene, the stage, the set. If I could settle down, then I would settle down.
Yeah, it's kind of a country undertone.
Very old country,
kind of
yeah.
weird. Especially the guitar work.
okay, lyrically, I'm grasping onto some
Out on tour with the Smashing Pumpkins, nature kids. They don't have no function. I don't understand what they mean. I could really give a fuck.
Okay.
something. Yeah, that track, I don't think it was as immediate as the other tracks.
Yeah, it was very easygoing. That's how I
very
describe it.
easygoing. I mean, I love the atmosphere. Lyrically, I'm definitely gonna highlight that one to look back at. I didn't quite, catch the overall theme. There was some drug references, and then the Smashing Pumpkins, and what exactly was said about the Smashing Pumpkins and the Stone Temple Pilots.
I'm very confused by that dig at the Smashing Pumpkins, to be honest. Like, it just sort of came out of nowhere. I'm very confused. Like, what was up with that?
On tour with the Smashing Pumpkins, nature kids, they don't have no function. I don't understand what they mean, and I could really give a fuck. What the fuck? Can I genius that? See if there's any explanation.
Oh, but overall, I really like that song.
No, I love the track. I'm just kind of intrigued by.
Yeah, and
I'll look
the
into that
country
after.
country vibes I can absolutely see. It has that kind of vibe to it, and just generally, it's another just really sweet, great track. The lyrics were interesting. I think just the dig at the Pumpkins at the back end was just kind of jarring, but I suppose I'll get used to it the more I listen to it. But that was another just really great track on honestly a really great album. So far, we have track 10, Heaven is a Truck.
There's sand in the boats on a rose-covered float. Dress tie me up just like all the rest.
There's still time left, but I mean, while I don't think it was a bad track, I feel like that might have been like the least significant one on the project for me thus far.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't know, it just doesn't feel as intriguing or as endearing as some of the other tracks. It just feels kind of like it's a fine song. I don't dislike it or anything like that, but it just feels like kind of a low point, I would say, maybe.
I mean, not a low point, but I feel like it
like
just
it's
didn't
not
have
bad. Like it just doesn't feel as impactful.
Just didn't have the wow factor of some of the other tracks, and just felt a little easier to predict and to feel out within the first few seconds, and then kind of just followed the same pattern. Whereas I think a lot of this album really just consistently had me engaged with new ideas, new just embellishments to the music, and just I mean, it was a fine track.
Yeah. And the next one is Hit the Plane Down, 3 minutes. Interesting is one way to describe it.
I can admire that it's trying to just do something completely new. But the execution is, again, interesting.
I'm assuming the lads from Pavement have a sense of humor, so maybe this is ironic. More than likely, it's ironic.
I don't know if it's ironic. I just feel like it was just a bit of an experiment. I feel like that bass or guitar line was just something that was on repeat, and they kind of made a song around that in the studio or something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the way it all comes together, it just feels sort of malformed in a way. I guess. Okay, that was clearly a piss. That was clearly a piss take.
Yeah,
that was clearly a piss take.
I mean, I didn't hate it, to be honest, but
I mean, I don't dislike it either. But like, I don't dislike it either. But it's just like, it kind of feels like a weird inclusion to put on an album that so far has been just beautiful and just sweet and fantastic. It just feels kind of, it feels jarring. To say the least. Like, yeah. I guess that was intentional. Like, they put it on just to fuck with people listening to the album. But I mean, fair enough, I guess. But like, I wouldn't say it's a good song. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a bad song. I have no like major strong feelings towards it, but it just feels jarring, to say the least.
I don't know if it was a piss take. As I said, to me, it feels like that main motif was just something they were messing around in the studio, and they just kind of vomited out a track.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
like,
hate it.
Like that part at the end of the song, though, when they're all just kind of like giggling amongst themselves, that just kind of makes me think like, this is a piss take. Maybe like you're probably right in that some parts of the song, like that riff, were probably outtakes or something like that, something that they were working on in the studio, but they just decided to throw it into a track that was just like meant to fuck with people, I guess, possibly.
Yeah, again, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's all right. But I do think it kind of ruins the pacing of the album a little bit. If it felt like it meandered for a little too long. It was just so clearly different to a lot of the other material on the album. And it just album probably would have been better off without it, nonetheless.
Yeah, I agree. I say we probably could have left that on the cutting room floor. Yeah. We're moving on to the final track on the album. Fillmore Jive, 6 minutes long, the longest track in the album. Yeah. I'm excited to hear this one. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Very dreamy.
Yeah. This is nostalgic haze. It's so endearing. The guitar work is fantastic. It suits the track so well.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh my god. In its own twisted way, it's so beautiful.
That was special. I think
That really was.
I think that was my favorite track on the album.
Yeah, it's up there for me. It's easily top
Wow.
3 in the album for me. Like, that was powerful. That was beautiful.
So powerful.
It was-
Just the atmosphere was just immense.
Yeah, it's so beautiful in this kind of twisted way, but at the end it was just wow. Like-
Yeah, it was beautiful, but it at the same time felt like the weight of the world was falling down on me. It was just
Yeah.
so powerful. It was an incredible way to close the album.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better ending to the album, to be honest. It felt fitting in that sense.
Yeah, I think it was a perfect ending.
With that, we've finished Crooked Rain. Crooked Rain.
It was amazing. It was, look, I had a feeling that I would love this album, you know, just based off the one single track I heard before. And then after track 1, my thoughts had already kind of been confirmed. And it kept up that same level of quality throughout, you know, arguably improved upon it even. The 2 tracks there, Heaven is a Truck and Hit the Plane Down, definitely a slow point in the album, but I think the closer just makes up for that, especially considering it's longer than those 2 tracks combined. Yeah, ultimately I think that project kind of put a lot of what I love in 90s music into one really coherent, really playful at the same time, just really outstanding project. Lyrically, I think I want to delve deeper into this album, but all in all, I don't know, I'm wowed. It was amazing.
Yeah, I love that. I love that album. Crooked Rain was fucking great. From just like the album, like constantly has this kind of rough around the edges quality to it, but that makes it so endearing in the fact that the instrumentation is just so beautiful throughout the track list. Like the way that it's playful, the way that it's somewhat like diverse in what it tries to do in some tracks, the endearing quality of that it has to the vocals as well, and the beautiful guitar work just make it all just such a treat to listen to. Like admittedly, those couple of tracks towards the end did kind of just take me out of it for a short while and kind of ruined the pace of the album for me. But when that final track hits, it reels me back in, and then it just floors me. Like that final track was just an incredible way to end it. And like you said with the lyrics, I'm very interested to see what a lot of these lyrics are about. Like some of them are outright bizarre, but a lot of them are just very poetic in a sense. And I'm really interested to dig further into what is being said here. But in terms of individual tracks, the individual tracks on this thing, for the most part, are just at the very least good, because there's so much great material on here. There's so many endearing, quality, just enthralling tracks on here. Like the rough around the edges production just kind of suits this what was going on like in this kind of like alt rock indie rock setting so well. Like you said, it encompasses a lot of like 90s indie rock, but makes it in a way that's just so, I guess, even now refreshing in a sense, because that was probably one of the most interesting indie rock albums I heard in a good while, and that was just a blast from front to back. You know, obviously the only critique I had, those last couple of tracks towards the end before the final one were bit iffy for me. But aside from that, I think this album is fucking great, and I'm comfortable with rating this at an 8 out of 10.
I'll go one further. I'll give it a strong 8 out of 10. I'll be more specific.
Yeah, decent to strong 8 for me.
There was a lot of 9 out of 10 worthy material on there.
There was a couple of 10 out of 10 worthy material, let's just say that.
Yeah. But yeah,
And
amazing album.